Do you remember Zeus?
Хожу я, а там два китайца сидят, они такой, ты чё хочешь, ты чё? А я ему, успокойся, успокойся, начинается этот батл, тут вырывается флейм, и такой, бух, я говорю, братан, хороший, и Гвардиан в конце эйс, на! Да эмоции,
He wasn't the biggest star in CS and didn't rack up as many highlights as Donk, but his impact on esports is undeniable. He shaped a generation of players, introduced a new approach to leadership, and brought the CIS region its first major victory. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because you're watching CYBERSHOKE, and today we'll explain why Zeus is a legend. The biggest update in CYBERSHOKE's history. Introducing custom matches. Create your own lobbies, invite friends, and use our mods. Randomize models, bunny hop, parachutes, and more. The best part is that it's totally free for all players of the platform. Go to CYBERSHOKE and try it out yourself. You can find the link in the description below. Like other iconic players, Danya didn't earn his title simply for being a good player, but for his unique achievements that his fans could recall for years to come. And Zeus has 3 that really stand out. But first, let's be honest, Na'Vi under Zeus's leadership was never known for complex tactics. They dominated the scene, sure, gave us Markelov's insane highlights and Senya's outbursts, but they didn't have meticulously planned rounds that took weeks to perfect. Still, they became the greatest team in CS 1.6 history, and there were plenty of reasons for that. A strong roster, the right management, and a relentless drive to win. But the key factor? Zeus's philosophy.
Все будет хорошо, просто все в наших руках. Надо браться, и надо браться к каждому. Надо не тянуть на себя одеяло и говорить, что я правый, вы все неправы. Нет, надо работать над собой в первую очередь, искать в себе причины.
Just look at him, the guy's overflowing with energy. You can clearly see his emotions and desire to win with everything he says and does. Zeus alone had so much intensity that it could fuel his entire team. Danya was the first IGL to show that leadership isn't just about calling rounds, analyzing opponents, or handling tactics. He proved that a great leader also needs to inspire his team, someone players will follow no matter what. That's one of the main reasons CS 1.6 Na'Vi was so fun to watch. While most other IGLs took the stage with a serious, focused look, Zeus would casually sit down at his PC and tell his team, "Your mission is to execute B under a flash." And so that's exactly what they did. CS fans love players who are exciting to watch. Take m0NESY for example. He has a clear edge over Jame in that department, even though both are top-tier oppers. And Zeus is the same way. In 2018, under his leadership, Na'Vi lost to Astralis in the battle for an era. Glaive's cold-blooded, by-the-book approach showed that sticking to the plan was more successful than Danya's chaotic, emotional style, and the Danes became the best team in Counter-Strike, racking up trophies and beating Na'Vi in their symbolic showdown. But as far as public attention, the robotic playstyle of the Danes just couldn't compete. Viewers gravitated towards Na'Vi matches instead, where Zeus would shout, "Run B and fuck them!" and Simple would go on to deliver highlight after highlight. Danya became known as a true leader who showed the entire CS scene that both approach and energy is the key to success in Team Counter-Strike. Not many remember this now, but Zeus pulled off one of the most epic comebacks ever in Counter-Strike. In front of the whole world, he went through a serious transformation that helped him rise from the bottom and become the best again. Let's look back at how it all went down. By the end of 1.6, Danya had become not just a strong leader, but also a solid player. In 2010, he even made it to HLTV's top 20, with his teammate Markelov taking the top spot. But the transition to CSGO wasn't easy for him. Na'Vi were slow to start training in the new version, and their motivation wasn't as high as it had been before. And this motivation factor became a turning point for Zeus. Take a look. At the start of his career, he was just an ordinary guy from Kharkiv, with no rich background or promising diploma. Danya simply loved playing CS and seized every opportunity to turn it into his full-time job. Along with his teammates, he chipped in for tickets to nearby cities just to attend local LANs. They dreamed of winning enough prize money to at least cover the cost of the trip. Sometimes they only had enough money for a one-way ticket, but they bought it anyway, planning to return home with the prize money they'd win. Given that situation, it's no surprise that Zeus would spend every waking hour mastering CS. At the start of his career, he didn't struggle with motivation. What he did face were money issues, and sometimes unreliable tournament organizers. He had plenty of challenges, but motivation was never one of them. But over time, everything changed. Zeus led Na'Vi to become the best CS 1.6 team in the world, and in CSGO, they became a serious threat to any opponent. Salaries and prize pools both grew, but then, around 2015, Danya hit a massive meltdown. According to his teammates, Zeus never lost his passion for CSGO. He loved the game just as much as he did before, but now that he was famous and had such a huge reputation, he started noticing that there were many opportunities out there for him, and out of curiosity, he started to explore some of them. He started a range of different projects, from a pizza shop to a mobile app. Zeus was still working hard. Like before, he gave it his all when he was training with his team, but the issue was that outside those sessions, he barely played CS anymore. His teammates said that he had very few hours of practice in the last 2 weeks. The team had never questioned his leadership skills, but they couldn't help but notice that many of their losses were due to his bad aim.
Вот сейчас немножко повезло Зевсу, благо Колдзира по нему не попадает, Колд заходит за вагон, Зевс старается его в бок убить, все играют крайне аккуратно, Зевс просто свалился!
And that's how he got kicked, behind his back in a harsh way, and completely ignoring the agreement to stay together as a team to become champions. And Zeus truly hit rock bottom. Despite being a hard worker who always showed up for training and still had a deep understanding of CS, he was backstabbed, all because he was juggling other projects, which without him realizing, ended up taking all of his free time. Many people in his position would have broken down and accepted that their Tier 1 career was over, but Zeus wasn't like that. He completely reorganized his life and made one of the most iconic comebacks in CSGO history. Danya joined Gambit, where he didn't just show up for training, he dedicated as much time to CS as he did back in his early days. As a remarkable leader, he brought fresh energy to his teammates, and they locked themselves in boot camp, only leaving to attend tournaments. And all that hard work paid off. Daniil Teslenko became a world champion just a year after being kicked from Na'Vi. Many of you have probably noticed that there are players who were once legends, but now play at a Tier 3 level, and even there, they struggle with a negative rating. It's painful to watch, especially for the fans who remember their favorite player being at the top just 10 years ago, but the motivation of these players is always different. Some can't let go of Counter-Strike because they love the game so much, some are too afraid to start a new chapter in life, and some just didn't save enough money during their peak years and are still relying on getting their salary. A lot of people feared that Zeus would face a similar fate, that after leaving Na'Vi he'd drop to Tier 2 and eventually fall even lower to Tier 3. The idea of such a huge legend ending up in last place in tournaments like CCT terrified his fans. But Danya did something that not everyone can do. He recognized that it was getting harder to maintain his level at Na'Vi and calmly calculated how he wanted to end his career. At the start of 2019, Na'Vi was still one of the best teams in the world, but during the offseason, they needed to find a substitute for their now former teammate, Edward. Their coach, Kane, pushed for the talented Kickert, but Zeus had other plans. Danya realized he was barely holding on to the highest level of CS and decided to inform his teammates of his intention to leave. But not wanting to leave Na'Vi without a leader, he suggested they sign Boomich in advance, giving him time to mentor Kirill before passing on the captain's role. Just think about how difficult that decision must have been for Zeus. Na'Vi wasn't just a strong team. They were always among the top 3 on HLTV and earned huge prize money. Danya could have easily continued his career with Na'Vi and kept a big salary, but he turned that down. His reputation and the team's legacy mattered more to him, so he retired as a player in the fall of 2019. And that kind of move deserves a lot of respect. Many players in his position would have clung to the sweet Na'Vi salary until the bitter end, not caring that their team had fallen out of the top 20 and that they were struggling to even maintain a 0.8 rating. And so that, my friends, is how Zeus became a legend of Counter-Strike. He first showed the world what a real leader looks like, and then made one of the most powerful comebacks in CSGO history. The emotions were palpable when he went on to play his final tournament. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, we want to remind you to turn on notifications and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the best esports content. Bye for now, guys.